Chapter 21, Prankster Palace. In the morning, I woke to Goldie standing over me. She was so close, I yelped and flinched. "Goldie, don't do that!" "Did you know you slobber in your sleep?" asked Goldie. "Mummy calls it slobber sleep. It's not very ladylike." "I don't give a pig's snout what your mommy thinks. Didn't she ever tell you it's not very ladylike to stare at people while they're sleeping?" "You're grumpy in the morning," said Goldie. I scoffed. "Aren't you a smart one?" I threw one of the feather pillows at her, which she caught and hugged to her stomach. "I'm hungry." "Were you planning to eat me?" "Last night when I said I was hungry, the door swung open. I keep saying it over and over again, but the door won't open this time. I tried to go out the door, but it's locked, just like last night. I don't think anything will happen until we're both awake, so wake up." I groaned, rolled over, and flopped out of bed. The door stayed shut, but as soon as I was on my feet, a bell rang on the other side of the room, next to the little door in the wall. Goldie opened the tiny door. "Breakfast!" She lifted a tray with bowls of porridge drizzled with cream and... "Honey!" cried Goldie, sniffing the sweet scent. There were also fresh strawberries, ripe and red and fragrant. The smell made me homesick for Granny. Goldie scooped up a spoonful and was about to shove it into her mouth when I knocked it away. "Hey! What did you do that for? We're prisoners, remember? It could be poisoned." "Our food wasn't poisoned last night," said Goldie. "Of course it wasn't. The beast was eating that food. And anyway, you can't always tell right away." I sniffed at the porridge. Most poisons left a bitter aftertaste and sometimes had an odor. "Red, I'm starving," Goldie whined. I lifted the spoon and took just a tiny lick. I smacked my lips and tried to detect anything sour or bitter, but all I tasted was sweet cream, and it awakened my ravenous hunger. My stomach growled. "I guess it's okay." Goldie dove for her spoon and devoured the porridge. I ate mine almost as quickly, and then we smashed the strawberries in our mouths. When our bowls had been licked clean, we found that our clothes had been washed and mended and folded in neat piles on the ends of our beds. Once we were fully dressed, the door clicked open. Beast stood in the doorway as though he'd been waiting with great anticipation. "I'm afraid I've made a bit of a mess in the foyer," he said, and he led us to the entryway near the stairs. Muddy paw prints covered the floors, tables, and chairs. A broom bucket and mop presented themselves and gathered around Goldie and me. "Get to work," Beast sang the words with wicked glee and left us. "Oh, ghastly goiters. Chores are worse than imprisonment," said Goldie. "Humph," I said. "A broom can't make me clean up." I went to step around the broom, but it shifted to block my path. I stepped the other way, with the same result. "Cheeky, huh? But you're still just a pile of sticks." I backed up and ran to leap over it, but the moment my feet left the ground, the broom swept me back so that I tripped over the pail, which flipped up in the air and landed on my head. Goldie stifled a giggle. "Are you hurt?" I lifted the bucket off my head and threw it against the wall. Curse all cleaning supplies. The broom bopped me on the head. Goldie no longer made any effort to hide her giggles. She keeled over laughing and grasped the mop to keep from falling over. But as soon as she touched the handle, the mop sprang into action. Instead of attacking her, it started to glide and spin Goldie like they were dancing at a ball. "Oh my goodness, Red, this mop is romantic." The mop hopped and twirled, and Goldie giggled with glee, completely lost in the moment. She even started talking to the mop. "Why, yes, I would love another dance, thank you." "Oh, you're such a fine dancer." "What's that? Marry you? But what would my mummy say? She would not approve of a mop for a son-in-law." While Goldie danced with her romantic mop, I wrestled with my fickle and obstinate broom. I chased it in circles, the bucket trailing at my heels, so I tripped over it every turn. I finally held the broom down long enough to sweep up some of the mess. A moment later, it wrenched itself free and scattered my dirt pile. "Oh!" I roared. I took an axe from the nearby suit of armor and pressed it against the broom handle, like a blade to the throat. "Behave or I'll chop you up." The broom functioned in an appropriate manner after that. Once we swept up the mess, the broom, mop, and bucket surrendered. "Phew," said Goldie. "I'm quite fatigued." I was likewise exhausted and hoped to find a quiet place to rest. No such luck. Beast was waiting for us right outside the doors, a few feathers stuck in his fur. "I'm such a clumsy Claus," he said. "I had a run-in with the pillows in the sitting room." The sitting room looked as though it had snowed inside. For 3 days, the Beast ordered us about. We swept and mopped and scrubbed until it was dusk, and my knees were bruised and my arms were like melted wax. And the Beast was not our only problem. The castle itself was a formidable foe, bursting with spells and enchantments. Whatever the Beast ordered, the castle carried it out. The brooms, buckets, dishes, doors, and furniture all worked like taskmasters until the 3rd day.